gonna lie, this whole situation got me tight. Because why would you get on the internet crying with a bruised up, gashed eye, talking about ask my husband what happened to my face? Girl. And now you're backtracking. Lady, what the fuck did you think people were gonna think? I'm very confused. Then you have the nerve to say social media has drawn its own conclusions from information that was shared, but those conclusions are not the statements I have made. What did you think people were gonna think? And now Big Tigger has finally made a statement of his own. You know, I didn't know what to believe. But then you don't want to not believe the woman, because a lot of times women be scared to speak up for themselves because people in the world don't believe them, but it's because it's shenanigans like this being played. I feel like don't come to the internet if you don't want the internet to speak on it. Especially when it's about somebody who is well known. She knew people were going to speak on it. She knew the blogs were going to pick this up. That man's career could have been really, really messed up behind this. There's still a possibility that it could be. It's upsetting because there are real victims out there. And when people do things like this, it takes away from when those victims are ready to tell their stories. Because a lot of times people don't want to hear it. Or they're ready to say, oh, she's lying. I'm glad Big Tigger finally spoke up for themselves. But their statements were both released around the same time. So maybe this was a coordinated effort. Who knows? I do have a question though. I'm hearing that the wife Alicia has a missing child on the missing persons report. Where's the child?
Big Tigger is speaking out, and his wife Alicia Brown is backtracking. And right now, the internet does not know what to believe. Let's break down everything that has happened, what both sides have said, and why this situation is more complicated than a lot of people are treating it. Here's where it started. Alicia Brown, who is Big Tigger's wife, posted a video on her Instagram page showing her face visibly bruised and marked. The caption she wrote with that video read, "Someone asked my husband why my f*** happened." She tagged Francesca Amaker in the post, a woman who is Big Tigger's co-worker at the radio station. The clear implication of that caption and that tag taken together was that Alicia was accusing her husband of causing the injuries to her face and simultaneously accusing him of having an affair with Francesca. That post spread everywhere immediately. Big Tigger is a well-known radio and television personality with over 30 years in the industry. When his wife posts a video of a visibly injured face and writes that caption, it becomes news fast. The reaction online was split almost immediately. A lot of people took the post at face value, saw the bruises, read the caption, and responded with concern for Alicia and anger toward Tigger. Others started raising questions almost right away. One of the things that caught people's attention was what happened the very next day. Alicia posted another video, and in that footage, her faces appeared to look significantly better. The injuries that had been so visible in the first post were not nearly as apparent. People noted that bruising and swelling from a fresh injury typically does not resolve that quickly. Then came the Threads post. After her Instagram video was circulating and the blogs had picked it up, and people were flooding her comments, Alicia posted on Threads and wrote, "Now that I have your attention, app loading." People took that as her signaling that the original post had been calculated to generate attention for something else she was promoting or building toward. Whether that's exactly what she meant is something only she can say for certain. But the timing and the phrasing landed badly for a lot of people who had been taking her initial post seriously. Big Tigger responded with a public statement, and it was formal and direct. He said categorically that the allegations and accusations circulating about him were false, untrue, and did not happen. He specifically addressed Francesca Amaker, stating that they have never been anything more than friends and respected colleagues, and he apologized to her publicly for the impact the last week had on her life. He asked for grace, privacy, and space for his family to navigate what he called a difficult moment. He acknowledged his 30-plus year career and said he intends to continue leading in a manner worthy of the trust people have placed in him. What Tigger did not do in that statement is address the image of Alicia's face directly. He denied causing anything. He called everything false. But the visual of that first video, Alicia's face with visible marks and bruises, is something a lot of people could not just move past based on a general denial, regardless of what came after it. Then Alicia put out her own statement, and this is where it got even more complicated. Her statement, shared through journalist Lauren LaRose, reads as a significant walkback from what her original post seemed to be saying. In the statement, Alicia said she has never called her husband an abuser. She said social media drew its own conclusions from information that was shared, but that those conclusions are not statements she made. She said she respects the legal process and believes law enforcement should be allowed to do their job without interference from anyone, including herself. That statement created a whole new wave of questions, because here is the reality. The original video and caption, "Someone asked my husband why my face happened," with his name implied and his colleague tagged, is a very specific kind of communication. It is not a neutral post about an injury with no context. The caption was written in a way that pointed directly at him. The tag pointed at the woman she was accusing him of being involved with. For her to now say that she never called him an abuser and that social media drew its own conclusions leaves a lot of people genuinely confused about what she was trying to communicate in the first place. There are really only a few ways to read where things stand now. One possibility is that what Alicia posted was genuinely calculated to generate attention, and the implication in the caption was not meant to be taken literally as a direct accusation. That the "now that I have your attention" uploading threads post was connected, and she was using a shocking image to build a platform for something else. If that is what happened, it is a deeply problematic move, not just for her husband, whose career and reputation took serious public damage, but for every real victim of domestic violence who now has to fight through another layer of skepticism because of situations that turn out to be something other than what they appeared. Another possibility is that something real did happen to Alicia, that she posted out of a place of genuine pain and fear, and that the backtrack is exactly what it looks like when someone in a complicated domestic situations speaks out and then pulls back. This happens. It happens more than people want to acknowledge. The dynamics of domestic situations, legal exposure, financial dependency, fear, family pressure, love for the other person despite what happened, can push people to recant or reframe after going public. The fact that she walked something back does not automatically mean the original post was fabricated. It can mean the opposite. A third possibility is that both sides have partial truths and the full picture is somewhere in the middle of what both of them are presenting publicly. The investigation is reportedly ongoing. Law enforcement is involved. Alicia herself acknowledged in her statement that she respects the legal process and wants it to proceed without interference, which means at some point there may be more information than what either of their public statements have given us. What we can say clearly right now is this: the timeline of events, the original video, the quick appearance of a better-looking face the next day, the threads post about having people's attention, followed by the formal walkback, raises real questions about the original post. Those questions are legitimate and people are right to ask them. At the same time, the presence of questions does not mean the original situation was definitely fabricated. Both of those things can be true simultaneously. What frustrates a lot of people watching this unfold, and this is worth acknowledging directly, is the impact situations like this have on the broader conversation about domestic violence. There are women who are in real danger right now who will come forward and find a more skeptical audience because of moments like this one. When a situation generates this much public doubt, it does not just affect the people involved. It contributes to a general climate where the default response to someone's speaking out about abuse is to wait for the backtrack rather than to believe them first. That cost falls on real victims. Francesca Amaker, for her part, has been caught in the middle of this entirely because of the tag in that original post. She is someone's coworker who had no apparent role in whatever is happening in this marriage, and she has had her name attached to an infidelity allegation across multiple media platforms for over a week now. Tigger acknowledging her publicly and apologizing to her in his statement was the right thing to do. Her reputation took a hit based on something she did not put into motion. Where this goes from here depends largely on what the investigation turns up. If law enforcement finds evidence that supports Alicia's original implication, the conversation around Big Tigger's statement changes entirely. If the investigation finds nothing to support it, the questions about the original post and what it was intended to do become even harder to dismiss. Right now, both sides have made their public statements. The investigation is active, and the internet is left trying to parse a situation where the visual evidence, the timeline, the statements, and the backtrack are all pointing in different directions at the same time. That is genuinely where things stand. Drop a comment. Who are you believing at this point? And do you think the investigation is going to give us any real answers?